You're listening to Big World Network.
Subprimeval, Episode 1, Suicide Light, Part 1. Written by Robert S.C. Cutler. Read by Ryan Jones. Warning: although there is no material subject matter within that couldn't be found in any general bookstore with no age constraint, this series is rated 18 and contains adult situations and content. Mike Dillard followed his co-worker Aaron Cooper and their foreman down a narrow opening in the floor. They continued down a metal-rung ladder into a dark network of hidden tunnels beneath the large grain elevator. On a far wall, the foreman lifted a large lever, lighting the tunnel with a bank of lights that stretched out 100 yards in both directions. "It doesn't look too bad down here," Dillard said. "I thought you guys said we had a bunch of lights to replace." "Next level down, rookie," Cooper said. "And one more after that," added the foreman. "You mean we're going all the way down?" Cooper asked, surprised. The foreman laughed. "I thought I only had one rookie on this crew. What's the matter, Coop? You scared?" Cooper picked up the pry bar and shook his head. "I just haven't been down that far in a while." "Hold on, Coop. Let Dill have a try at it," the foreman said. "Take the bar and remove the manhole cover, rookie." "Does he shorten everyone's last name?" Dillard asked Cooper. "Yeah, and it gets old real fast." Dillard brushed a coating of dirt off of the manhole cover with his boot and tried to pry it up without success. He positioned the bar into different holes but ended up with the same result. "Come on, rookie, we don't have all night," the foreman said in a gruff voice. "It's stuck," Dillard said. "Show Dill how it's done, Coop." Cooper waved Dillard away from the manhole cover and with one swift motion removed it from its resting spot. "Just like that, rookie." "Oh," Dillard said, embarrassed. "Down the hole, boys. We still have at least 3 hours of work ahead of us," the foreman said. "Why don't we just take the stairs?" Dillard asked. "They're unsafe," Cooper said. "Bunch of boards missing, and the supports are pulling out of the walls." The next level down looked similar to the one just above, except for the light fixtures. They were older, and most of the bulbs had burnt out, creating an eerie glow against the brick-lined walls. Down the narrow tunnel, water dripped from the network of pipes that ran overhead. Open seams in the floorboards above their heads let in slivers of light that illuminated the earthen floor in lattice-type patterns. The circumference of the manhole cover leading down to the next level was much smaller than the last two. Dillard studied his foreman's robust gut and wondered how the man was going to fit. Remembering how Cooper had removed the last one, Dillard inserted the bar and lifted the thick metal disc away from the hole with ease. Stagnant air that had been trapped in the darkness below rushed through the opening like an invisible geyser, returning back through the hole with a gentle hush as if the century-old structure had just taken a breath. "Get to it, guys. It'll be supper time before long," the foreman said. "I'll set up camp here. Turn your radios on to, channel 3, and let me know when you're finished." "You kidding, right? Me and the rookie have to change over 100 bulbs by ourselves in one shift?" asked Cooper. "Couldn't have said it better myself, Coop. I can't see a thing down here," Dillard said as he descended the ladder. "Where in the hell is the switch for my headlamp?" "Don't use that one. It's only for emergencies. When you reach the floor, take the flashlight out of the duffel," Cooper said. "Emergencies? What good does it do sitting on top of my hard hat if I can't use the thing? It makes more sense than lugging around a giant flashlight." "It's called a suicide light. Don't they tell you new guys anything?" the foreman said. "Suicide light?" Dillard asked. "When you climb to the top of the silo to conduct inspections, which you will learn how to do next week, the light on top of your hard hat, the suicide light, must be fully charged. If you happen to accidentally fall into the silo, you will need this light to find my way out." "Allow me to interrupt myself," the foreman said. "Sorry. Go on." The foreman breathed out slowly. "No, that would be impossible and improbable. The light is there to turn on before you hit the stored grain and die an agonizing death by suffocation." "Jesus, has that ever happened?" Dillard asked. "Bunch of times. One just about a year ago. The fool didn't have his hard hat on, so it took him a good day to die." "I still don't get it. What good is a little light on your head when you're just going to drown in a bunch of grain?" The foreman paced around, describing the scene. Inside the silo is pitch black. No lights, no windows. So you fall in complete darkness, never knowing when you're going to hit. When you turn on the suicide light, you're shocked into having a heart attack at the sight of how far you're actually falling. So you just flip on this little light and bam, you're dead. Pretty much how it goes. Come on, rookie, down the hole, Cooper said. Dillard climbed down, and Cooper slid through the opening and down the metal rung ladder after him, barely missing his head. He shoved Dillard out of the way and took the nylon bag from him to retrieve the flashlight. Once he'd pulled it free, he turned the flashlight on and moved the light across Dillard's face to the rusted, cobweb-covered electrical switch hanging on a wooden support beam. Dude, you're slow, Cooper said. Dude, it's only my second day on the job. Whatever, Cooper said as he pushed up the switch, turning on exactly 4 lights out of the 100 plus. This is gonna suck. Dillard peered down one end of the tunnel and then the other. 2 of the working bulbs were directly over their heads. The other 2 were a few hundred feet in either direction. A narrow set of tracks started where they were standing and stopped somewhere in the darkness. The sound of rushing water echoed off the earthen walls. A light, steady breeze carried a damp, pungent odor. Smells like the city landfill, Dillard said. Maybe from homeless people. They've been spotted down here before. No shit? What about bats? Do I look like a freaking search engine with the knowledge of the entire universe between my ears? Stop with all the stupid questions already. I just want to finish this crappy job and go home, Cooper said as he reached up through the manhole for the boxes of bulbs the foreman was handing to him. No reason to be a dick, friend. I'm just sick of all your rookie questions and I just met you tonight. Dillard found the second flashlight and shined the intense beam directly at Cooper's thin, unshaven face. Calling me a rookie can stop right now. I'm at least 10 years older than you and apparently have more experience if this is the first and only job you've ever had. If you're so smart, jackhole, then what are you doing working for this crummy company? I got laid off, Dillard said as he shone the light away from Cooper's face. Fired, more likely. I said I was laid off. Swift Jet downsized and got rid of over 1,000 of my coworkers, including me. Yeah, I know. My dad worked for them for 30 years and was let go by those greedy foreigners. You ladies okay down there? The foreman bellowed from above. You can have your lovers quarrel on your own time after you change all of those lights. Shit, let's get to work, Cooper said, handing Dillard a large cardboard box of light bulbs. How old are these things? 50 years at least? Dillard asked. Cooper exhaled and shook his head at another irritating question and then put down his box of light bulbs and walked over to Dillard. He liked that he was taller than the stout older man. It gave him a sense of superiority. You follow the tracks, and I'll go the opposite direction. I still think it would make more sense to use the light on my hard hat, Dillard said. I know, for emergency use only, which doesn't make any sense. Cooper mumbled as he walked away from Dillard. If I get done with my side before you're done with yours, I'm leaving you alone down here with the homeless people and whatever else is lurking in the darkness. Dillard didn't utter a word in response. This place gave him the creeps, and even though he really hated his new coworker, the thought of being down here all alone didn't thrill him. He was pleased he was given the side of the tunnel with the track, just in case he had to find his way back in the dark. Dillard, at the tender age of 35, was just plain scared of the dark, ever since his older brother had locked him in total darkness when he was 8, inside the storage closet beneath the basement stairs, and then told him that was where their father had shot himself. He couldn't even go to sleep without at least a bedside lamp on. Some nights he would turn on every light in the house because he had heard a sound. This quirk would send his wife up the wall, right up to the day she left him for someone more stable. Don't try to change the broken ones. You'll cut yourself, Cooper yelled, causing Dillard to jump. Okay, Dillard said, as he unscrewed the first bulb. The tunnel became increasingly flushed with light as the 2 men hurried along in opposite directions, removing and inserting light bulbs. Instead of brick-lined walls, these were dirt, carved smooth and straight. The track was buckled in places and missing sections here and there. Bare wires hung down where lamps had once been. Dillard avoided them, not sure if they were still alive. As he progressed further, he noticed the tunnel was sloping downward at a narrow grade. The rushing water he had heard was growing louder with each step. The dirt walls, dry where he had started out, were becoming increasingly moist. The pungent odor of rotting garbage was also growing stronger. He picked up his pace so to get out of the tunnel sooner, wary of the possible run-in with a homeless person down here. Almost 200 feet from the manhole, he noticed that the tunnel ahead of him wasn't illuminated with fresh light from the replaced bulbs, but remained dark. The tracks seemed to end, and only a blackness lay beyond. Dillard directed the beam of his large flashlight into the dark. No light reflected back. As he drew nearer, he discovered the reason. An opening, at least 50 yards across, lay in the path curving downward. He could barely see the continuation of the tunnel on the other side. "Hey, Cooper!" he yelled. "Use the radio, rookie," Cooper's voice crackled through the small speaker. Dillard keyed his radio. "We have a problem." "What now?" Cooper asked. "There's a big opening and I can't go any further." "Jump over it then. It's like half a football field wide. Don't move, I'll be right there," Cooper said. Within a few minutes, Cooper appeared from his side of the tunnel with a dismissive scowl on his face. "Come on, I'm nearly done and you've got half a box still left." "Look," Dillard said, pointing to the dark chasm. "Damn," Cooper said, shining his flashlight across to the other side and then down. "Sounds like a river, but it's too dark to tell. By the smell of it, maybe there's a broken sewer line." "What do we do now?" asked Dillard. "You get to finish my end of the tunnel while I tell the boss what I found." "You didn't find crap. Besides, he heard me on the radio." Cooper shrugged his shoulders. "Oops." "And I don't think you should be trying to dump your workload on me," Dillard said. He could feel his ears growing hot from anger. "Tough shit, rookie. I'm the senior grunt on this crew. I can always tell the foreman that you were screwing around down here and couldn't handle the job," Cooper said with a toothy grin, and then keyed his radio. "Boss man, this is Cooper. We've got a major obstruction down here. I'm coming up to give the details." "Copy that," the foreman said. "Make sure the rookie stays on the job." "Will do," said Cooper, and then clipped the radio back onto his belt. "See, rookie? Ain't no use fighting the establishment." As Cooper walked away, Dillard had the urge to throw his radio at the other man's head. "Jerk needs to be knocked out," he said under his breath. Passing under the manhole, Dillard could hear Cooper and the foreman cutting up. The heat in his ears spread down his neck and spine. Knowing that he wanted to keep his job, he would have to endure whatever these two assholes, and whoever else happened to join in on the hazing, decided to dish out on a daily basis. A painful knot formed in his stomach. No wonder people go full-on psycho at their jobs. Slob like those two make it miserable just to be alive, Dillard said. As it turned out, Cooper's light bulb box was fuller than his own and only a quarter of the way down the tunnel. Dillard lost control of his anger and keyed the radio. "Hey, asshole! I better pick up my pace so I can finish your job since you only got half as far as I did. Don't worry, Coop. You're not slow. You're just special." "Cool on the chatter, rookie. Coop will be back down shortly to help you out," the foreman said. Dillard got back to work, thinking of where he should apply next if this shithole didn't pan out. Fast food, retail, the homeless shelter. Even though he wasn't married and had zero dependents to rely on him, he was just one short month away from being evicted if he didn't start drawing a steady paycheck. So he ended up with this lousy company with its lousy pay and benefits. He didn't even work for the grain elevator. He was employed by the Maxwell Maintenance Group out of somewhere Idaho. They weren't even local. Halfway through Cooper's box, Dillard heard what sounded like crying. He couldn't tell from which direction it was coming from, so he stopped working and closed his eyes. He heard the cry again. It was much clearer and coming from the direction of the drop-off. Sounds of footsteps and rocks falling came from that direction as well. With his nerves a little raw, Dillard keyed his radio. "You two down here?" "Still up the manhole, rookie. Coop ran out to get a camera. He'll be back in a few," the foreman replied through the chirp of static. "Thought I heard something." "You're not getting scared on me now, are you?" "Just keep working and we should be out of here within the hour thanks to this drop-off Cooper found." I found, you jerks," Dillard said to himself. Then, without any preamble or crackle from the radio, the distinct sound of a grown man crying out in fear echoed through the tunnel.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.
You're listening to Big World Network.